How about I go there? How about I go there? How about I go where? How about I go here? How about I go here? How about now?
What is a tax lien certificate? Welcome back. Today's episode is answering your question, what is a tax lien certificate? Well, it's an alternative investment for thousands of people across this nation because 1,500 different counties sell tax lien certificate. Now, the investors are really purchasing a piece of paper where the local county will pay them an outrageous high interest rate. Now, how does all that work? Well, tax lien certificates are issued because a property owner did not pay the local taxes. Now, the local taxes, if they go into default, the county will take action. And that action is they'll confiscate the property. However, in the tax lien certificate states, what they do is they sell a tax lien certificate, and that mandate is that the property owners will pay the taxes, and in the tax lien certificate state, they sell the certificate, and so you can earn money on that certificate. Now, tax lien certificate is a government lien. It's an encumbrance on the property. Property can't be sold, can't be traded, can't be mortgaged until the tax lien certificate is paid. It's the first lien on the property. The property cannot be sold or mortgaged. Keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, so a tax lien certificate is issued by the treasurer or the tax collector. They're available, as I say, in 1,500 counties. And listen to these interest rates. In Florida, for example, you could earn up to 18%. In Arizona, 16%. Iowa, you can earn up to 24% on the tax lien certificate. And I'll give you just one more, and that's the state of Illinois, all the way up to 36% in the state of Illinois. So you're getting the idea. These certificates really pay people a lot of money. Now, about half of the states and counties in the United States sell tax defaulted property, and the half that sell tax lien certificates just sell the certificate first. You see those little white circles? That's how many auctions are taking place within that state in the next 90 days. This calendar updates every single day. I'm here today to show you how to make money. To do that, I'm going to show you briefly that there are thousands of tax defaulted real estate properties across the 3,000 plus counties in the United States. This is quite interesting. You're looking at the Ted Thomas Magic Interactive Map and Auction Calendar. It changes every day. Now, I created the calendar and the map so I would know how many auctions are taking place every day in the United States. Now I can show the little guy how to make money. Most importantly, I created this system so I could have an auction list for each auction 24/7. The small population counties will have dozens. Sometimes they have hundreds of properties to sell at auction. However, those small counties, when they're selling tax lien certificates, they could have hundreds of those tax lien certificates available. Now, large population counties that go into default, there could be hundreds of properties, even thousands. Now, if they have tax lien certificates in that, with those counties, I can tell you right now, there could be thousands of certificates available. It just depends upon the population. So for those people that are wondering how this works, well, local owners are required to pay property tax within the county where the property is. The local government uses those funds to pay the county's bills. In other words, property tax money is used to pay the police department, the fire department, the county employees, the schools, the school teachers. You're getting the idea. All those government services are paid from property taxes. So if the treasurer does not collect the property tax, what they're going to do, the consequence of all that, is they're going to issue a tax lien certificate. So how do they go about that? Well, the first thing they do is to put the property in default. They send the homeowner due process notice, tell the property owner, well, you're in default, we're going to issue a tax lien certificate. That means a lien will be attached to the property, and so the property file at the local records will show there's a lien on the property. So it can't be sold, can't be traded, can't be mortgaged until that tax lien is paid. So the county's going to publish a list of those certificates which anybody can buy. Now, where do they publish the list? Well, first it'll be on the county website. It could also be published in the newspaper. but anybody can buy one of those certificates, and so they're going to advertise it in many places as possible because the county needs that money. What are they going to do with that money? Well, all the 1,500 counties that sell those tax lien certificates, when the money comes in, they're going to take that money and they're going to pay the county bills. In other words, the county employees and the school teachers and the police department, they all get paid from property taxes. Now, in a place like Florida, they could have up to 1 million certificates in 1 year. So that's spread out over 67 counties. They have 1 million certificates available. So there's going to be plenty for everyone. Now, all the different states that sell tax lien certificates are listed, and you'll see later on we'll talk about that auction map. It'll tell you more about that. Now, the states that sell tax lien certificates pay absolute outrageous interest rates. Regular bank rates are 1 or 2% currently. Looks like they're going to start up now with inflation. But the tax lien certificates have been paying 60%, 18%, 24%, all the way up to 36%. All right. Now, you should do some research before you buy a tax certificate. I suggest investors look and see what you're buying when you buy a tax lien certificate. Remember, when you buy a tax lien certificate, if that property owner does not pay you, you're going to get that property. So if you buy a tax lien certificate and the property burned down, you're going to end up with a burned out property. Okay, what if there was a flood? What if there was a pig farm? Whatever. You need to make sure that you've looked at that property, even though it's a tax lien certificate. Now, lots of people don't look. They just buy the certificates and they sort of pray that that's all going to work out. I'm going to suggest to you that prayer is not a very good business strategy. All right, you can attend an auction online or offline to buy tax lien certificates. The laws are slightly different from state to state and county to county. It doesn't mean they're difficult. It's just that they have their own procedures in each county. 1,500 counties means they could have 1,500 different rules for the auction. None of it is too complex. All of this was created 200 years ago. Tax certificates are considered a predictable, certain, and secure investment. They're probably good for older folks that are worried about their money, because what are you going to do? You're going to invest with the government. You're going to get a check back from the government. All right, so it's a predictable, certain, and secure investment. I like to tell people it's the safest investment in America today. However, you do need to look and see what you're buying. Now, according to the treasurers, 95% of all the tax certificates will pay you all of your money back plus the high interest. Now, I said 95%. All right, the other ones that don't pay you, what's going to happen then is you're going to end up with the property. Now, that's a process. So they don't just throw the property at you. You're going to have to go through a foreclosure process. Most of the property owners are going to come in and pay. In other words, that means they're going to redeem their certificate. That means the property owner comes forward, pays the interest, and pays 100% of what you paid for that certificate. So you get your money back plus the high interest. All right, generally speaking, tax lien certificates are outstanding for about 3 years. However, Florida is a little different than most of the states. In Florida, they allow the property owner 2 years redemption. So anytime within the 2 years, from the time you buy the certificate, the property owner can come forward and pay the tax and pay the interest. All right, now up until that time, you have no rights on the property. So you can't go on the property, you can't push them off the property, you have no right on that property. So when you buy a tax lien certificate, you just have a passive investment. So you take the certificate, you buy it, all right, you pay for it, you just take it home and put it on your desk. There's no work to do, all right? But you can't bother the property owner, and the property owner can stay on that property. Even though they haven't paid their taxes, they can stay on that property up to 2 years. So remember, they're going to stay on the property even though they're in default. Now, after 2 years in Florida, then the owner of the tax lien certificate must petition or go to the state and say, or the county and say, all right, put the property up for auction at a tax defaulted auction. So you still don't get the property after 2 years. They put it up for tax defaulted auction. Now, if they sell the property at auction, that money will come in and the state, the county will pay you whatever you paid plus your high interest. But if no one comes in and buys that particular property, then you'll get the property. All right. So either way, you're going to do very, very well, because you're not only going to get paid if you get paid, or if you don't get paid, you're going to get the property. All right. So remember, the county in Florida must have another shot at them. So the first thing they do is they issue a tax lien certificate. The second thing they do is they wait for 2 years, and then they'll have that tax certificate back, and then they'll try to sell the property at an auction.
How better go there? How better go there? How better go where? How better go here? How better now?
Either way, you're protected because you invested with the government. You're going to get a check back from the government. Now, I know this is a little confusing, but the rules generally are that a tax certificate could stay outstanding. It could be redeemed any time in the 3 years. Any time they come in to redeem it, that means they come forward, and to redeem it means they paid you whatever you paid for the certificate, and you get paid all that high interest rate. All right, now my name is Ted Thomas. I'm going to finish this video up, and I always want to remind you, if you're going to buy tax liens or tax deeds, I always suggest you look at the property. I don't know if they had a hurricane or whether they had a windstorm or whatever, but you always want to make sure that you know what you're buying. With tax lien certificates, if you don't get paid, you'll end up with the property. So you're secure with your investment because the real estate is secured. I'm Ted Thomas. Don't forget, request your free auction list right below me.